very cautiously because, I don't want to upset the rock god. I said, would you mind having listened to this and telling me what you think? He loved it. He loved it. He gave us a great review, and he said he was happy for us to promote that. His words were, this album deserves to be heard.
He's got quite a good taste.
He's got very diverse taste, but he knows what he's listening to, and he's a fan of music. He's just, he's a great guy. I wouldn't say I know him well, but I have had, over the 14 years or 15 years that he's been at Planet Rock, we have had conversations and we've met on numerous occasions, and he's a good guy. He's actually a genuinely good person. It makes me happy to be able to say, and I'm even happier that he likes the music that we've produced.
I just can't get over the fact that I'm listening to the voice I listen to every day.
It's the only voice I've got. If I try to do an English accent, I sound like Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins. It's horrible. It's awful. How's your English accent? Can you do an English accent?
No.
No, neither can I.
No.
All I can do is go, all right, mate. Oi.
Yeah, some
Oi.
people can, but
Oi.
I'll never lose my accent. So.
No,
Unfortunately.
I think after 25 years with you and 34 years with me, I think we're kind of stuck with our respective accents. I always say, when someone says, is that an American accent? I go, I haven't got an accent. Or they say, what kind of accent is that? I go, I don't have an accent. Everyone else here has one. You can use that if you like.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So what other bands did you play in before?
Well, nothing notable really. I mean, I started playing in bands when I was 12, when I was back in the States. We just play at the high school battle of the bands and stuff. And, I remember, I think the first song I ever played in a band was age 15, and we played, ironically, Joe Walsh's Life's Been Good. Well, the whole idea of Life's Been Good is that you've lived some life, and now you're looking back on it. We were 15. We hadn't lived any life yet, but we liked the song.
Wait, at least it sets the idea for the life.
Yeah, at that point I was playing keyboards, and I had this analog Prophet, Pro 1, and I spent hours, days, trying to get this thing to sound like, the middle part of Life's Been Good, where it goes, it sounds like somebody's clicking it. Worked it out, got it very close, and then after we performed it, I realized Joe Walsh did that on the guitar. So there you go. But I learned what a filter and an envelope and an oscillator were. So, all good learning. But beyond that, it was just bands with my friends. We recorded some stuff here and there, and maybe at some point I'll bring those songs out and then rework them or something like that. But nothing notable. It's been pub bands the last few years, and much as I like playing at pubs, after a while you're like, maybe we can push the envelope a little harder on this and do some original stuff. And so Nick, who is a Perfect Beast guitarist, is also in my pub band. I call it my pub band. It's not my band, but the band that we are in together. And we were like, well, why don't we do something? And he was like, yeah. So we made an album.
They needed a new deck every time.
When is the album out, and how is it going to be distributed?
Well, the album is out at the end of January. I think on the 27th is when you can pre-order it now, and it's through Bandcamp, and so that's how you can buy physical copies and digital copies. I mean, these days, I don't listen to CDs, physical CDs anymore. I think most people also, you'll download it, put it on your phone, and
No, we still like to get the CD though.
I do too, but I like collecting vinyl as well.
Remember
But I'll let you in on a secret. I don't even have a turntable, but I love the vinyl. If a band offers me in my radio job, would you like the album? Yes, how would you like it? Vinyl, please. But I'll as likely as not end up downloading it anyway and listening to putting it. If I like a song enough, it goes on my phone and to listen to in the car.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
And you had the London GTI.
So do you want to tell us a little bit more about the band?
I really do.
Where does the
Chelsea's on
name come from?
Oh, okay, this is a funny story.
And how did you come up with the whole idea?
Oh, okay, well, let me start with the name. because the name actually did come way before the band. I remember I was driving on the A30 towards Sunningdale's train station, which is near where I live. And I think I was listening to Absolute Radio, and I said, "That's Don Henley from Building the Perfect Beast." I went,
Yeah, I still play that now.
Perfect Beasts. I thought, that's a good name for a band. And I just kind of made a mental note of that. And when we started putting the band together, I was like, I wonder if that's possible. There's no band called Perfect Beasts. I was like, there it is. The universe said yes. And so I named it that. The idea for the band actually came from our drummer, Steve, who we were at the Steelhouse Festival, and we knew each other already.
Which one? Which year? 2020.
Oh, really? You're gonna ask which year?
Because I was at the Steelhouse Festival
2022 or 23. I can't remember. I'm bad at that
I'm
game.
just hoping it could be the one until you were there.
I'm there at all of them. I've been going. I think this will be my 10th or 11th year in 2026. I've been going for a long time. That's again why I can't remember when it was. But anyway, Steve and I, we were just enjoying whoever was on stage, and he said, "Hey man, why don't we write 10 songs and play festivals? Do a couple of covers, kind of thing." And I was like, I like the simplicity of the brief. And we started, and we actually originally, I think his idea was he wanted to do a 3-piece, and I would love to do a power trio. The thing is, I can't sing, not really. I can carry a tune. Yeah, I have tried. I can carry a tune, but I can't sing. I think there's a big difference between the two things. So I'm good at backing vocals, but don't make me sing something. You know, nobody needs that in their life. So 10 songs, a couple of covers, festivals. And I was like, great, okay, let's go. So now we had a band. Where do we start? John Mitchell and I had written 2.5 songs a few years ago that were just sort of sitting there. And we were like, well, that's a starting point. We can use those, because they hadn't been released. They were just demos, but they were good songs. And those 2 songs were Heavy as the Head and Bad Things Happen. Bad Things Happen was the first one, actually, which has got a slap bass bit, which was an exercise I used just to practice a bit of slapping and popping, because that's not my natural way of playing. But that song is based around that. Heavy as the Head is heavy bass chords. So yes, you know, as the bass player, a lot of my songs are written on bass. And then from there, then Nick joined, and he had a few songs, and I had a couple more that I was working on, and that's kind of how it developed.
And you've got very big plans? Stadium?
Big plans.
Yeah,
we absolutely do, actually, because again, like I was saying earlier, go large or go home. I'm a little late to the party at my age. I realize I'm not as sexy as I used to be. Still pretty sexy, but not quite as much as I was.
Your
when
wife is here, so I'm not going to comment. My husband is here.
I'm
as well,
sure she'd
so-
agree. I'm sure she'd agree while she was laughing. But, you know, so late to the party, but this is not, it's not a vanity project. It's not something that I'm doing off the back of my day job in radio. It's like, now is the time. I finally assembled a group of people that I work really well with, and I really like a lot, and I like what they do and how they do it. And so I'm looking at the next 10 years, and in that time, hopefully getting at least 2 more albums out after this one. This one took a long time to make, because you got to get all of the really boring functional background stuff going, you know, with regards to, you know, distribution and things. And
So you're doing that yourself?
for the time being, until, you know, I don't know, Warner Brothers says, hey, we want to throw a lot of money at you. But it also takes time to get on festivals' lineups. I mean, by the time the album was actually finished, we were already late for 2026 to get on there, but 2027 is what we're looking at. But in the meantime, 2026, we're going to do at least a few weeks of, I'm going to call them tours, but a series of dates throughout the country.
Have you got any ideas of bands you want to play with?
Well, I think the bands that we would fit with opening for, I place us in the sort of the same area as Mr. Big, and Living Color. Again, technical rock, not prog, but you know, you can't say Mr. Big without thinking of Paul Gilbert and Billy Sheehan, you know, who are just absolute shredders. I'm not a shredder, but my guitar, Nick is. He doesn't like that word actually, but he's adept. He knows all the notes. He even knows the notes up above the 12th fret, the dusty end. So, you know, we would be comfortable with them. Or, you know, Muse, if Muse wants to pick us up, you know. Again, but then we're leaning back into prog, aren't we?
Well, they can do your favor. You've been playing them on radio a lot, so why not?
Well, look,
Reciprocate.
I love Muse. My favorite bands are Rush, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Yes. They're all prog bands, but I really, you know who I really like at the moment that I've been listening to more than anyone is Skindred, who are very much not prog, and Nova Twins, and Skunk Anansie actually. Just everything that they do, it's just always sonically really interesting. It's very, intense, I suppose. So it's like, you know, I don't know that we would be the right band to play on the same stage with them, but you look at Alter Bridge's new festival that they're doing in 2026, you know, they've got Skindred on the bill. You wouldn't necessarily think Alter Bridge and Skindred, but there they are. And Skindred are brilliant live. Have you seen them?
No.
No. They're, if there's a better live band, honestly, I saw Skunk Anansie as well. I haven't seen Nova Twins yet, but Skunk Anansie I saw a couple of months ago. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Skindred, I've seen a couple of times, and Benji, their singer, is amazing as a front man, and he's a hilarious person as well. So any time spent with those guys would be great. Hey, Rush has just announced a tour, and they're doing a shorter set. I'm like, Getty, call me.
Well, you can invite him in for an interview in the studio.
Say again?
You can invite him for an interview in the studio.
Well,
and play him some
I
of your
imagine
songs.
when, if, and as they announce some European and UK dates, they will come into Planet Rock. I mean,
That could
at
be
the
a
risk
chance.
of name dropping too heavily, I have met Getty on several occasions, and it took
Seems
about.
like quite a cool guy, is he?
Getty didn't like me at first. I think it's safe to say that because I made the rookie mistake of telling him I was a fan. And Rush have, I think it's fair to say, they've always been a bit wary of the fans getting too close. They like their privacy, and that's fair enough. But I think Getty was, I don't know, I think he thought I'd turn into a stalker or something like that. But over 20 years of interviewing him and crossing paths, I think he realizes I'm just a guy. I'm safe, and you know, the last few times I've met him, he's been way cool. And yes, he is a cool guy, and absolutely my hero. You know, I just when you see Perfect Beasts perform, I have the bass pedals, the Taurus pedals, like he has, because I want to. You know. If they'll let me, I'll get the keyboards out. It's not that I want to be him, but I like the sonics that he can create all by himself. I cannot sing though.
Can you play the keyboards?
Yeah.
You can.
There is one song that we play called Chasing Daylight, which I did play on the bass on the recording, but I realized when I was rehearsing, when I was practicing, I was like, this would sound better and be more comfortable for me to play on the keyboard. And so I will have a keyboard, I think, because, you know, when you're playing festivals, you have to move stuff on and off the stage really quick. And the more instruments you bring on, the more things have to be plugged in, the more things have to be line checked and stuff. And I'm going, am I making too much work for myself here in that regard? But, you know, when we're headlining and we have roadies and stuff, hell yeah. Keith Emerson keyboards everywhere, and then I'll play the bass too.
Well, it reminds me, you know Dino Jelusic?
Who?
Dino Jelusic?
Jacko.
Dino.
Dino.
So he's Croatian, I think. He's Croatian. He was picked by Whitesnake to be the support singer, well, after Coverdale. So
Yes, now I know.
He toured with them on keyboards, but he was also singing, so he's pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So you could be like him.
Well,
with the exception of the singing.
with the exception of the singing, because
But you
again,
can
nobody
play
nobody
everything
wants to hear that. Trust me on that. But
Well, I actually want to know. I'm curious.
Really, it's you'll hear it and you'll go, okay, right. You can
Okay.
stop now. Yeah.
Okay, I'll trust you then. So, are you going to release like singles
Mhm.
little by little? Or
Yeah, our
are you
first
waiting
single is out now. It's called Three's a Crowd,
for-
and
okay,
it's our straight ahead rocker. That's one that Nick and John Mitchell wrote. Nick Andrew and John Mitchell wrote that one together. I only play on that. I didn't have anything to do with that other than learning it and playing it. But it's a bit of a banger, and that's the one that Joe Elliott has played on Planet Rock 3 times now, and Gary Foster has played it a couple of times as well on the Prog Report. And I think, and I feel terrible that I can't think of everybody's names, it has been played in a couple of places, and we hope that it'll pick up some momentum. We have another single scheduled to come out on December 5th called Nonstop to the Moon, which actually kind of has very little to do with the moon itself. That's a song, I did write that one. That was remember I said John and I wrote 2.5 songs. That was the half song that we had written most of the music for that, but it had no lyrics. And I was, again, driving. I get my best ideas when I'm driving, I guess. And I came up with the chorus for that, and then everything else kind of dropped into place. But that song, I think that's an interesting song, because that one, without sounding too beard strokey and aren't I clever, but I thought, put it this way, I was quite impressed with myself that I actually thought of something that's as deep as this. The song is about where we are in time now compared to where we were in the post-war era. Because in the 1950s, there was this great sense of optimism, and we're going to build infrastructure, and we're going to make lives better for everyone, and we're going to make things that last a lifetime. Your fridge is going to be lifetime guarantee, and hey, let's go to the moon. And everybody was super inspired, and it was an optimistic time. And probably since we went to the moon, it's all kind of been a bit on the downward slide. So the whole idea of that is we need to go back to the moon so that everybody can be more optimistic again. So it's not really about going to the moon. It's more about sort of finding our mojo again as inhabitants of the earth. So, like I said, I was like, ooh, that's kind of deep, actually.
Yeah. I look forward to hearing that.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's got a big sing-along chorus, and then I think if we put out a third single, I think that'll be Heavy as the Head, which features Leonie Jane Campbell on backing vocals, but she's quite prominent in the song, and that one's just about getting older. It's not quite as interesting. Some of my lyrics can be a bit vague. That one's a little bit more vague, but it's got a very nice melody and a nice big sing-along chorus again as well. And some cool bass on it, actually. So all of my songs have interesting bass. Yeah, I think they do anyway.
Okay. Well, whenever you decide to go for more publicity, if you want to send us a link to review it before the release date, if you
I'd be happy to.
we
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you very much.
Is there anything you want to say which I don't think possible?
Well,
Other than you're gonna take the UK by storm?
Well, that's always the goal, isn't it? I mean, I don't want to appear arrogant or anything like that, but I do often think that a lot of rock music is very formulaic, and you hear bands that sound like other bands all the time, and I was like, that was kind of what inspired me as well. I was like, can I walk that line between sounding familiar to people and not scary, but also still having that creativity, that little special sauce that makes people kind of tilt their head and go, oh, that's not what I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to name specific bands, but they're third and fourth generation bands of other bands. You could say that the classic bands. I can think of at least 3 bands that sound a lot like AC/DC, and it's like, well, or UFO or any number. And they're all great bands, you know, and they're on festivals and people enjoy them. And it's like, I'm not here to judge that, but I thought that's not what I want for my band. I want to be a little bit quirky, but not so quirky that people go, it's too weird, or prog. And again, I love prog. Love prog, not dissing prog, but I didn't really want to be a prog band per se.
Well, maybe being late to the party is exactly the right thing, because you've already had the experience and had the chance to evaluate everything and step away and eventually find something which is slightly different.
I hope so. I mean, the thing is you know, you float the music out there, and then it's not yours anymore. It's everybody's. It's in the public domain, and you
I'm
know.
sure people will still find references to different other bands. And,
I hope so. There are some.
and
There's
that's how we do the reviews.
well, there's a song on it called "Every Saturday," which is about people in a pub and what their lives might be like away from the pub. But that one, on the bass anyway, again, I can only speak about the bass, is I sort of treated it, I was trying to channel Chris Squire in the way that I'm playing this. And you know, it's got the chorus on it, the chorus bass on it, and I hope those things will kind of pop out and they'll go, yeah. I don't think I've ripped off too many people on this album, but even if I did, I wouldn't say, would I?
Okay, well, I think we'll wrap up because I'm sure you need to get ready for the actual gig as well.
Yeah, and they're you know, I don't
Okay,
want to
right.
do too
Yeah,
much
thanks.
editing
Yeah,
on this.
thanks.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for
Thank you for
talking
having
to
me. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
And yeah, look forward to the concert or the playback.
The playback, yes. Well, I suppose we could mention that, which is we were supposed to do a gig this evening on October 31st at the Butler in Reading. But our singer, John Mitchell, fell down some stairs, fractured his shoulder, broke some ribs, and actually, as we speak, is in the hospital being seen to for further results of that. So the concert, disappointingly, is not happening, but Steve, the drummer, said, well, let's make lemonade out of these lemons and do a playback for everybody. And we thought to make sure that people still came, we threw a t-shirt. We threw everything we could. We're going to have a party. It's going to be fun. We've got Leone Jane Kennedy and John Power, Ewan Power, playing live before the playback. And it'll be a great set. I think they're doing some Rush tunes, so that'll be fun.
And why Reading? Out of all places.
Reading. Well, John lives in Reading. John Mitchell lives in Reading. It's not far from me. It's not far from Nick. It's a bit far for Steve, who's out of Southampton. But this is sort of it's a classic. This is a classic venue in the area. Steve, the landlord, kindly offered it to us, and Steve's a good guy. He and Zoe and the whole staff have been incredibly helpful throughout the whole process and here on the night. And why not Reading? We don't have to pay a congestion charge here.
Yeah, okay now.
Yeah, exactly. Or ULEZ, right? Yeah, all of that. So, yeah, okay, Reading it is. Good beer here, too.
Perfect. Unfortunately, I'm driving, so I can't try that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'll see you around after.
Yes, I hope you enjoy the album.
I'm sure. Okay, I look forward to hearing it in due course.
Yeah.